All right, tonight, guys, we're talking about body bags, and we are going to deep dive into this 1993 anthology film, which is probably my favorite anthology film ever, for a number of reasons. So overall, let's just go around the trio of us and talk about what we like about this film overall before we get into more of a deep dive of it. Shelby, you want to go first?
Yeah, well, I didn't like the fact that Michael Myers didn't make an appearance, and
But Haddonfield does.
I
Haddonfield
thought that
does.
Leslie Nielsen was fantastic on the beach as a psycho, and I really enjoyed the the nice little lesson on kicking those nasty smoking habits people are picking up. I hope I nailed your anthology summary.
You reference what? You reference Creepshow, Cat's Eye, and I don't know what the first one was.
Halloween 3,
Oh,
asshole.
that's right.
The original anthology.
I know, right? The OG anthology.
Wow.
Yeah. So
I mean, it's good. It's got three unique, different kind of stories in it. It's got a cool container, the premise,
wrap around.
and maybe the first. I mean, the first one's kind of the weakest one, but it is
Think
kind of
so?
like a pure. It's like a pure suspense. I don't know. It's cool, but it kind of is not as cool as the other two. I feel like, but they're all great. The acting was good. The directing was good. the graphics are good. The sound was good. It was all good.
Everything was good.
It was all good.
Any complaints?
Um,
Doesn't
no,
sound like it.
I don't think so.
All right, Brandy. What are your overall thoughts on body bags?
I liked it. I like having three different they were full stories, but it wasn't like a whole 1 hour movie on each thing. They wrapped it up really easy, I think.
Mm-hmm.
So I kind of liked going back and forth, and then I would get really engrossed in each one, and then we go back to John Carpenter, and I was like, oh yeah, that's what we're doing. So it felt like a fun ride through each story.
Oh, I bet John's a fun ride.
He is.
If you're watching this, John,
He doesn't remember, but
yeah, body bags is definitely obviously at the time it was released in '93. It was released on Showtime, so it had limited eyes on it because premium cable like that. Not the the majority of America.
I mean, but think about it. You're paying for softcore porn and John Carpenter exclusives. Because wasn't Masters of Horror also on Showtime?
Yeah, but it was like a decade later.
Oh, they tried.
Yeah, but yeah, body
Movies.
bags to me is the concept alone is really genius because you're in a morgue. You have this coroner who is half dead himself, living off of formaldehyde, and
Is he though? Is he?
yeah,
Is he
he's
technically a
drinking-
half dead coroner, or is he?
That's-
I thought he was a
that's
full
what's killing
dead.
him.
I thought he was a
He's-
full dead guy. Also in.
Well,
the
no,
morgue.
he is dead. Yeah, he's technically a John Doe that was brought
Oh, I
in.
got you. But he
and then-
just keeps staying there as a John Doe. That's like the whole thing. His shtick is he lives in the morgue and they never get rid of his body.
Well, I don't know. I mean, this is just one night, but
Well, I mean, I was there.
Open up.
Randolph. I saw it.
we open up and
you're the expert.
we open up and we see John Carpenter. He's cutting some meat, and with like a head, like some one of
Bone saw
those,
or something.
yeah, bone saw
Yeah.
or something. But and then he quickly says how it's been a busy night. They've had lots of new arrivals.
Sounds like what you would say at a hotel, but instead we're at a morgue.
All right,
I
and
mean,
how
it's a hotel for dead people.
and he calls
That's
him
fair.
the arriving departed, and then he has like a martini glass and he tries to pour. He has a little olive in it and stuff. He tries to pour more of the
Formaldehyde.
formaldehyde in it, and there's nothing left. So he kind of gets mad, and he says back to work. He looks at the different body bags, all the ones that are death by natural causes. He just gets irritated about, and then he sees a body bag and he says basically he's like, when it's murder, suicide, or nasty accident, they put them in these bags. And then he says, this one's found on a stretch of lonely highway on a pitch black night. And it fades into the gas station segment, which has Robert Carradine, who was of, he's of Revenge of the Nerds. He's the lead in that. And also he was the dad in Lizzie McGuire. So it was really cool to see him in this different role. He's a sadistic killer and stuff. And the town that this gas station takes place in is Haddonfield. So we actually get another story within the city of Haddonfield. And David Naughton, who was the lead in American Werewolf in London, starred in it as well. But it's a really great
homage,
isolated horror film. It takes place in a gas station, and this gas station attendant is going through the trials and tribulations of working overnight for the first time at this gas station. She sees the homeless,
and then a late night stranger arrives.
It's the worst first night that you could have.
It really is.
Okay, it's not
the good
that
news
bad.
is like you can only go up from there. Like you'd be like, you know what, I might have had a really shitty night, but at least somebody didn't try and kill me.
Yeah, well, like, what if somebody went in there and blew up the bathroom, like shit all over the walls? I think that'd be worse than a murderer.
But nobody tried to kill you.
So we find out that so we found out his character is the killer and stuff. And this film, by the way, is filled with cameos, and that's because if you watch the 2013 Blu-ray Scream Factory release, the documentary that our friend Justin Beam that he produced and recorded, you'll learn that they basically took out their a contact book, and they had only a certain amount of time to figure out who they could cast. So they just, a lot of this was on, cameos. All of these cameos were based on favors. Friends. Wes Craven's in the very first segment as well. He's a creepy pedo, not pedo, but creepy sleazy guy who's looking
like Weekend Warrior
protagonist up and down. But so and then the wraparound segments feature the coroner going over things in the morgue, and then we transition to the second segment, which personally I think it's the weakest one. It's called Hair. It stars Stacy Keach. As he receives a botched hair transplant. He's super self-conscious about his thinning hair, and he discovers this Roswell. It's Roswell something, or
hair
called
systems, hair restoration.
No, okay, yeah. I can't. I'm not finding the company name, but yeah. So he gets the transplant, and
thinking his life is going to be all good and better, and it never is.
It is.
And then he starts
shorter.
He has luscious hair, but then it gets more and more. He starts growing hair out of his cheeks and his ears. It basically becomes,
he becomes the hair.
And then it comes back to the hair transplant place. David Warner, who was in Tron and the Necronomicon anthology movie, tons of other stuff. He's the owner of the hair transplant place. He basically tells that it's another successful operation, and you find out that
one of us
that basically that the hair are alien, or like life forms that eat the brain of their hosts, and that's how they've survived. And which to me, I think that one was the weakest one. It is the most comical one though, which is a nice bridge between the tense, suspenseful.
I think it's also got. a nice little story in it about just kind of like being content with yourself. Like if you really want to go deep,
Yeah, well, that's true.
it's like, you know, things like you think it's gonna make things better, but actually like trying to do this whatever can actually like just be so super botched and be worse. It's like, you know, that he literally had everything else going for him. Your hair,
Yeah.
like, it's fine.
Yeah, I mean, you know, if he had just minded his own business and hadn't touched that meteor, he wouldn't have had to kill himself. I mean,
Yeah.
yeah.
That
I
would've-
mean, Stephen King was asking for it. I'm nailing this.
You are.
He'll be like, what the fuck anthology are you watching?
I mean, I'm sure, pretty sure they're gonna know what anthology you're all the various ones you're talking about. But, and then
Oh, I can't wait till we talk about the bus at the quarry. That's gonna be a hoot.
the what?
The school bus at the quarry.
Oh, right. And then we transition to our final segment, which
So Luke Skywalker
might be
loses his eye instead of
He
his
does.
hand, and
He
his
does.
dad is
Remake.
already dead. His dad remarried, and his stepmom was a real bitch, and he was real mad about it. And so
He's got that teenage angst.
he writes the prequels. But no, Patrick, please tell them what happened.
well, Brent Michaels, aka Mark Hamill, or Mark Hamill, aka
AKA
Brent Michaels,
AKA Brett Michaels.
Not Brent Michaels.
AKA Bandana.
Every rose
Bandana
has a
Sad
thorn.
Eyes.
Every rose has a thorn. And Brent Michaels is a baseball player who is he's being scouted by pro teams. He's on a triple team affiliate, and he's about to be called up to majors. And one night, you know, there's a storm. He's driving home. His wife, who's Twiggy, the model, is telling him she has a surprise for him when he comes home. You see her put the card in the crib, or the gift, and it's
A
Randy?
baby. I was trying to do it away from the thing.
It
Okay, I'm
sounds
good
like
now.
you're taking
well,
a
it's super
shit
loud.
on the mic.
I'm sorry, I had to roll my chip bag.
Did you really? Right now?
Why
I
don't you
didn't
smoke
think
it now that you've rolled it?
All right. What was it? Okay. And we see Twiggy.
A
And we see
baby.
Twiggy. She
Twiggy.
is putting a card that says to mom from dad, so you know she's pregnant. And he's driving home.
Maybe they just like collecting nursery stuff.
No, that's not it.
They like
He's
to just
driving
scare.
home.
They like to scare themselves by the idea of parenthood.
So he's driving home, and it's raining, and there's this deer, and he's trying to get one of his cassette tapes out of those briefcase cassette tape holders.
I think it was a Crocus tape or an Alan Parsons project.
But yeah, he's trying to reach for that and maintain
It's the old school version of don't text and drive.
And
Okay. I'll have you know.
yeah, basically, and he wrecks, hits a tree. This other car comes up. You see he has a giant glass shard in his left. I don't know which eye it was now.
I think it was his left eye.
Yeah, but and he basically has to end up having surgery. He gets a transplant. He starts having these migraines, these visions, these just these glimpses of a mom putting cigarettes out on like a POV camera, and
I
blonde
think
hair
these
girls.
are these are all COVID vaccine symptoms.
The
I've been
fever
seeing a lot of
dreams.
murder victims too.
Yeah.
I see dead people
So
actually.
it's vaccine symptoms, not COVID symptoms.
Well, you know that the guy in the hairpiece from The Sixth Sense, that was Bruce Willis the entire time.
What? What? My
And-
world has been shattered.
And so basically, Roger Corman, who plays he plays Dr. Brigman. He who did the operation on him. Hamill confronts him outside the hospital one day and asks, where did this eye come from?
Oh, just a murderer.
And he was like, some dude, John Randall, who was on parole or who was on execution, death row, or whatever, and he basically
He wasn't gonna use it anymore.
yeah, he was going to use it. So
I mean, he didn't
they gave
need
it
it
to
on
him.
parole either. I mean, fuck. That's pretty good
Basically-
punishment. Take his eyes and then let him live in misery.
So basically,
There's a movie about that.
there's Brent slowly sees more and more of the visions and starts slowly morphing into the wanting the desires and the urges of John Randall.
What is it? He's making like he's doing something in the backyard. He's making a deck or a patio or something. He's like
He
that
was
was like his
doing,
project for the baby
for the summer it was like for the summer or something. But
well, he slowly morphs it into digging graves for
a grave for
all
his
three
wife.
of them.
And basically, and to me, I think Mark Hamill gives the best performance in this entire movie because you see him being this lovable. He does a great accent too.
Mhm.
It's, this kind of lovable husband, family man dude. He's in a 20. How long the segment is? 20 to 30-minute segment. A natural transition that's not too
Yeah, it's progressive.
Forced.
It gets like worse and worse.
yeah, and that timing's really good, and then he basically when he's at his work, he's at the end where he's basically determined to kill Twiggy because she has blonde hair, and it's what John Randall would have done. He ends up tying her hair
Honestly.
to the leg of a table, and she brings out her Bible.
She was really just asking for it.
Yeah, I mean the Bible. I mean this isn't The Exorcist.
He was saying
She had long hair, then it was blonde, and now we got a Bible. Like you checked all boxes.
Yeah,
you gotta die.
You gotta die.
and she was trying to say, look in the Bible, and he said, what's in the Bible? And he said, our names are in the Bible, because it was like to Brent and Kathy, blah blah blah. But then when he grabs it and looks at it, he's reading this line in this passage, and it's I don't know what verse it is or whatever, anything like that, but it's basically, if thy right eye shall harm thee, pluck it from thy, or something like that. So I think it was his right eye, actually.
Oh yeah, I guess so.
Because he reads that and he kind of has like a moment, and then he makes a split. Yeah, he does an epiphany, and then he takes the garden shears that he had, and he jams it into his
Eyeball.
right eyeball, and as happenstance would have it, the blood splatter just happened to go over that line of passage he read, and then we go back to the coroner. AKA
People
John
say it don't be
Carpenter.
like that, but it do.
But it do.
And he has those old school like googly eye like head like things.
Slinky eyes.
He's
Slinky
so
eyes.
sensitive to the trials and tribulations of our character here.
But John,
Look,
John
he's in a
Carpenter,
giant industrial Ziploc bag at the morgue.
But John Carpenter makes a point. He says, "Why did he get upset? Why did he get so upset about losing his eye? He could have become like an umpire because they get calls wrong all the time." But yeah, and then we quickly find out that as the real coroners come in, played by Toby Hooper and Tom Arnold, that he's actually a corpse. He takes off the
Outfit.
it's not a gown. I don't know what it's
It's a
called.
lab coat. Like
Something.
scrubs
And
thing.
you see on his, I don't know which side, his left or right side, but it's this big old, just like bloody stab wound and stuff. And they actually start doing an autopsy on him, and they're like, they take out his liver, and it's super like whatever. And they're like, well, what have you been drinking? And they reference the
Formaldehyde.
right, yeah, and
He's like,
and then they're like, let's get the head saw, and he's like freaking out. He's like, and then you do a little 360 pan up, and as they're about to it's an actual hand saw they're doing that with on him, and then it cuts to credits. So that's Body Bags in a nutshell.
And then it cuts out to Jason walking out of the lake with his head, and he kind of goes.
He winks. Yeah,
you know he's coming back.
Right. Yeah. So and
let's really win this round.
It's really interesting because this was originally supposed to be. This was Showtime's answer to Tales from the Crypt from HBO. They originally, this was met when pre-production began. It was supposed to be a series. Each of these segments were supposed to be like an episode, and when they started filming, Showtime said we're not doing the series, so they made it into just a film. A working title that it went under in the past was called John Carpenter's Mind Games, which it's funny because I believe I still have somewhere a VHS tape where it used to play on Sci-Fi, and you'll get that title card, John Carpenter's Mind Games, on some early 2000s.
But all the shots are the same?
No, yeah, it's the same movie. It's just But the really cool thing about this movie is, or one of the cool things I think, is that the writers, Billy Brown and Dan Angel, they went on to do a lot of stuff with R.L. Stine and his series they had on Netflix, or I can't think of what it was called, the Haunting of something. I'm not.
The Haunting of Hill House.
No.
The Shocker on Shock Street.
Connecticut.
No. It's not a movie. It's a R.L. Stine series. Actually, and this is even bigger than that. They went on. They wrote a ton. They were
Fear
really
Street.
well. No, they're really involved in the Goosebumps show in the 90s.
I can still hear that theme song.
Yeah, it's popping.
But
it's actually
cool.
Men in
Music,
Black
obviously, was by John
and
Carpenter.
X-Files vibe together on the Goosebumps.
Kinda. Yeah.
Interesting.
The music, obviously, of course, John Carpenter basically had a hand in composing every one of his scores of his films. I don't think he did the Ward, but I think every other one he had a hand in. This one, he also did it with Jim Lang, who he also did his music on In the Mouth of Madness with. Jim Lang is best known for his music on the Hey Arnold series and the movies. That kind of funky, chill jazz type sound. So, but so this was the review of Body Bags, and later this week we'll be having I'm going to show off my Body Bags collection, because I feel like I probably have
I'm going to put you
I'm
in
just
a
going to go
Body
out there and
Bags.
say it. I have the biggest collection of Body Bag stuff over anyone else.
Ever?
Yeah, I'm really only lacking about 2 items that are Body Bags related that I don't currently own.
And what makes you think that somebody doesn't own all of them, or is only lacking one item?
Randy, are you telling us that you have this stuff in your possession right now? Is this why you're saying this shit? Is this a setup?
Maybe. Come over and find out.
So again, so stay tuned later for this week for that video.
Oh, okay. Well, hold up. Before we seal the deal on this one, where would you rank Body Bags in all of your feature-length film anthologies?
Ooh.
So compare it. Okay, so
I've
here's
already
the
said
list.
it's my number 1.
Well, bitch, I'm just saying. So it's Cat's Eye, Creep Show 2.
Mm-hmm.
What's I lost it. There was another one.
Trick or Treat.
What
Trick
was
or
it?
Treat.
Halloween?
No. Didn't that first Tales from the Crypt? There was that Tales from the Crypt movie, right?
That one from the 70s.
And there was like a modern one. and then I was going to throw the Twilight Zone movie in there.
Okay.
There's a lot of anthologies.
Oh, dude, there's ton. We could do an entire anthology month, and we still wouldn't reach.
Gosh,
Perhaps
I mean,
we should.
I really do. I really do like Body Bags. I don't know if it's my favorite one, but it's like top 2. It's like top 3. I feel like Creepshow 2 is still my favorite overall.
Yeah, I love Creepshow 2.
It's so fucking hard.
But to me, what's so perfect about Body Bags is it the best anthology?
You just have a hard on for John Carpenter.
No, I did like how John Carpenter is like actually,
and he actually acted
a
in
character
too.
in it. Yeah, like that's like a side you didn't really ever get to see of him, and he was like actually. And I mean, this is fairly late in his career at this point. In '93.
Yeah, this is '93. I mean,
yeah.
Like
this is obviously why it's Patrick's favorite, because he gets to he's in it, like he gets to do the music, like he's so heavily involved. Patrick's just
I mean, it is a complete Carpenter like love fest. I mean, it's all
really
Carpenter. It's like a Renaissance man Carpenter performance. So,
and it's like
very cool.
Who's who of horror, and
it is cool. It's like it is. It's like it's very referential to the entire industry.
But I will say this though, it is the perfect anthology film to put on a Saturday night. If you turn the lights out, you get pizza or whatever. It's the best for the atmosphere and everything. It is the best one.
You get a little spook, not a big spook.
Right.
Yeah, it's got like the right amount of gore, the right amount of suspense, the right amount of dark comedy. It's a good mix. It's like if you took the best segments from both creep shows and put them together, like at least it picked 3 good segments mix with each other.
Because I love the first creep show, but it's a long movie.
Really dark, and
it's a long movie.
5 or 6 of them. That one's very dark.
It's a long.
The second creep show has the more comedic elements that the first one lacked.
Honestly, I think top 2 anthologies is Body Bags and then Creepshow 2 for me. Then maybe Creepshow.
I think anthologies need to have the mix of like creepy as shit and comedy in them. I think that's the whole point. Like you need to break them up. I mean, if you want to do, I mean, there's plenty of them that are just completely terrifying always, but I like having that mix because it's an anthology. I think you should be mixing up the mood and the theme too.
Yeah.
I mean, if you want to have an overacted,
like, what if you're having you're trying to have like a horror movie night, and obviously you're trying to like get in several things, then obviously Creepshow 1 would be the way to go, because
I mean,
you want to get scared and you want to watch several different things.
There's a place,
and you're not trying to sit there with the slow burn.
Well, I mean, that's true. I mean,
I'm always going to be preferential to anthologies because I don't always like wasting an hour and a half on a movie I don't know if I'm going to like or not, right? I mean,
right.
Yeah.
You can suffer through 15, 20, 30 minutes, and then there's going to be another one that might be more your cup of tea.
Right.
So I like short movies more than long movies, unless the long movie has a purpose for being long. So most of the time, horror movies don't have a purpose for being that long. So it's
usually they have
like the House on the Cemetery.
Yeah.
Or About the Cemetery.
Jesus, Fulci.
They always add in this is what I don't like about horror movies versus anthologies is there's always like an unnecessary sex scene. We could have just cut out.
Okay, all right.
Most horror movies or most anthologies are horror movies. There's
but. And second off,
are they putting in all these unnecessary sex scenes? No.
They are not unnecessary because they help teach people how to do stuff. Like, I think they're very important because I need a refresher.
This is what porn sites are for.
No,
that's
no, that'll never work. No. Free porn on the internet, that'll never work. I get all my stuff from VHS tapes.
Like John Brennan.
That's how you know people are serious.
John Brennan told me that the internet is for losers and nerds.
He's going back to the VHS,
and yet you're on it.
He doesn't pause it. If he sees the dude, he just powers through. Like a true champion. That man.
American hero.
All I'm saying is I'm here for the horror, and unless this is somehow tying into somebody dying, I don't care to see it.
But there's not really any sex in the
there are a lot of people that
That's what I'm saying. That's why I like anthologies.
Well, Mark Hamill does get it on with Twiggy. You see Mark Hamill's bare ass.
You do see
but he got a real nice ass. So
now it's different. Okay, so double standards.
We're not seeing seeing all
Asterisk.
their bits. We're not seeing like this one scene where they come in with them kissing.
I don't like sex scenes
but you're not seeing them having to like where they don't have that build up and then 5 minutes of you watching this. Like,
okay, well,
I don't care.
You better not ever watch Bloodsport with Jean-Claude Van Damme if you don't want to see ass cheeks of steel, and then him fucking run over an entire illegal fight scene in Hong Kong. Okay,
you're
just not ready for Bloodsport. You're not ready for JCVD. You couldn't handle JCVD.
Okay.
Stay tuned for our, or my rather, body bags collection rundown.
Real nerd shit. The best place to get a body bag, 2020. Head up your local FEMA station. They got plenty of them. We didn't use them all because damn Sleepy Joe got the vaccines out in time. So congratulations. Congratulations, everybody. My great master plan to kill off the entire planet was foiled. So...
Yeah, you did terrible. You took too long to get it to the United States.
No, but it was supposed to kill everybody. I was selling body bags the entire time. This is like an episode of Scooby-Doo. It was my
So secretly you're rich. So, of course you're the white guy who's making money.
Stay tuned for the body bags collection video later this week. Make sure you like, subscribe to our YouTube channel. Check out our Patreon. We have tiers of $1, $5, $10, and $20.
And if you're really cool, you can send me $69.
Tons of exclusive content.
We can discuss other tiers and what's on there for the right price.
Well, Brandy and Shelby
are willing to work for
themselves out for $69.
Just the tips.
$69. So so check out our Patreon. Lots of
or 20 to get both of us.
Exclusive content that's coming out there. Weekly on that platform, and you can get exclusive Scream Stream signed prints, pins, event items that are coming up. We have lots of events coming up this summer that you'll get basically free items that
we're doing a book club.
You'll be selling.
We're going to do a math club, math gymnastics, math pentathlon, and academic decathlon. This will be a lot of fun. So you're going to get all your
learning. There's too many athons happening.
Marathons, all that good shit. So practice your multiplication tables.
All right. Well, yeah. So there we go. I'm Patrick. That's Brandy. That's Shelby. Thanks for tuning into this review of body bags. We'll see you for the body bags collection video, and we'll also be doing a Patreon exclusive watch party on body bags sometime this weekend. So stay tuned for that, and we will get it going, and we'll catch you then. So, toodles.
Bye.